Hello folks and welcome back to Medieval Total War. I am Conostep and this is going to be part 25 of my early campaign where I'm playing as the Almohads. And if we just kind of take a general overview of the map right now, to my north the French are at war with me and the Germans, and the English up here, and they also have a crusade sitting on the border of Constantinople. It's about to disappear any moment now. There's only a total of 7 men left in this crusade, so the French are a little bit bottled up, but at least their territories are held together in more or less a tight group. The Germans, on the other hand, are a bit split up. They do have these 3 territories here, and then a territory here, or 3 territories here, and then another territory here. So they're a little bit split up right now, and they're having a little bit of a hard time because the Sicilians are making their way inland. Now, the Sicilians, as of now, are only at war with the Italians, who do only have this one province left here in Genoa, and the Turks, who have this one province left here in Greece. So the Sicilians are choosing their enemies very wisely, because they're just choosing the weak enemies that they can beat. And they're doing pretty well. So if we kind of move over here to the Danes, they have these 4 provinces, and they're playing as conservative as usual. And then we get to the Poles. Oh, the Poles. The poor, godforsaken Poles. They are holding back just a tide of Mongols right now, and they're all that stands between the Mongols and Christian Europe. And I'm really curious to see how this holds up here. I wouldn't mind it if the Mongols did push past the Poles and actually put a little bit of pressure on, say, some of Central Europe. That'd be kind of cool to see. But I fear that it would just be like the Hungarians that took the brunt of it if the Mongols got past the Poles. Now, I say I fear. I mean, the Hungarians have very good glorious achievements points. They get like a point per conquest. Yeah, for every province, they get a point for conquest score. And then their home is pretty decent as well. They're making 9 points off of 3 provinces. So the Hungarians are doing well. So I guess I wouldn't mind it if they ended up being the next target after the Poles. Then we get down here to the Byzantines. All they have left is Bulgaria and then the 3 islands down here. The fact that these islands haven't rebelled yet is kind of interesting because they are cut off from their emperor, and usually that does cause some sort of public order difficulties. But right now they're kind of hanging in there. They actually do have 1 vote too, so that's interesting. And then the Egyptians are kind of, I wonder if they're going to stabilize here. The Egyptians, I kind of, they were being pushed back, and then they kind of pushed back against the Mongols. So I'm really interested to see what happens here. It doesn't look like the Mongols have enough here in this exact vicinity. I would like it if the Mongols brought some of these armies down from Khazar, but I suppose the Poles do have Kiev, so they do have to worry about this. Yeah, this is fascinating. This is very interesting to see. I would like the Egyptians to get beaten back a bit more, but yeah, the Egyptians have a ton of armies here that are fighting against me, and I have no intention of attacking them. So they could easily move some of these armies up north to fight against the Mongols, and we will see if that happens. Now, I did take you on this little tour of the world first before talking about myself, because for myself, well, there's not really a whole lot to say, to be honest. I'm sitting pretty well with a decent economy. My treasury's been sitting at around 30 grand for like a couple episodes now. The good news is it's not really, lowering at all. But the bad news is I'm not really building on that either. I am making 2,473 florins per year, which is okay. That's solid. It's totally solid. It would, be better if I wasn't paying upkeep on all of these soldiers, but for the price of peace, I suppose that's going to be worth it. So I'm okay with that. Although, I say that, I suppose what I could do, now that I do have some Pavis crossbows and some arbalesters in all of my frontier provinces, what I can do is disband all of my regular crossbowmen, because at this point they are completely redundant. So we're paying 22 upkeep costs for all of my crossbowmen, and I think I have at least 15 units of them. So yeah, I may as well just disband them. That would save me a bit of money, I think. That's more like it. disbanding a few crossbowmen, and now we're making an extra 500 florins per year. I like it. I like it. I'm pretty okay with that. It is too bad that the French are probably never going to accept a ceasefire, just because I would like to be trading with them and making an extra couple bucks off of them. But no, we're probably going to be enemies until the end of time. So that's just what I'm going to have to accept. And you know what? Making nearly 3 grand a year, I can handle that. That's okay, I think. Because if I check out here, I'm going to be making... So I already made points off of the Alhambra, but the extra 24 points, that's going to be counted in 6 years. It's 1244 right now, and this is going to get counted in the year of 1250, so I'm going to be making 24 points. Holy God. That's going to be really good. That's going to feel really, really good. And that's why I feel so good about what's going on right now, because you know what? I can kind of just hang out here. And you know what? Just kind of defend my homelands, keep my navy safe, and watch the Mongols just rampage. At some point, I might have to go on the offensive and sort of even things out a bit, and just in case my homelands or my points get a little bit. If I end up making a lot less later on in the campaign, then that's something I'm going to have to fix. In the meantime, I am working on just getting my army caught up as well as I can. I do have Ghulam cavalry on the field now, so that's going to be useful for... That's going to be my best cav. So, you know, right now I have a single armor upgrade and a single weapon upgrade on these guys, so that's going to help out a bit. Other than that, let's see, buildings, I'm not going too crazy with buildings. Well, I'm still building a few, but it would be nice, as I said before, if I could start actually saving more money and not spending all this money, so... We'll see if I'm able to pull through with that, but in the meantime, it's just going to be kind of chilling out and watching the world burn from afar. I should mention that I'm really praying that this Prince Umar here is actually my real son, and he's going to be coming of age in 2 years. I really hope that my heir actually is not going to be Prince Ibrahim. If Prince Umar is just like a really younger brother, that'd be unfortunate. That can't be the case. He's 14 and the king is like 54, I think? 54, yeah. So hopefully he survives till the age of 56, because I would really like Prince Umar to be the next in line and not a 50-year-old. That'd be a little bit unfortunate. So let's just thoughts and prayers here. And I just remembered something. I was thinking in the last episode, just because I'm not really training up my spies and assassins in the way that I wanted to by using this counter spying tactic. How about I just go all out here and just destroy my border forts in like every single province that's not an actual border province. So Cyrenacia, keep the border fort. Why not? You know, I have a lot of generals there. And same thing here in Aragon and Navarre. Keep the border forts, because the border forts will be protecting my generals and my heirs and my family members from assassins. So yeah, do that. But in all these other provinces where I have spies hanging out anyway, just to keep the population loyalty all good, may as well destroy that border fort, right? Because I feel like my population loyalty is already fine enough. If I end up having a civil war because of this, I'm going to be so pissed. But I should be fine. And it would be nice if I could really train up my spies this way by catching enemy agents. That'd be pretty rewarding, I feel like. So I'm going to go around here and knock down these border forts. And then what I can do is build back the border watchtowers just for that boost to population loyalty afterwards. One turn later, and the French Crusade is now officially done for. And what have we here? Well, we have a couple French rebellion, a French civil war happening here in Toulouse, Aquitaine, Anjou. And is that it? Flanders, Lorraine. These are small armies, it appears, though, so it doesn't seem like this civil war is really going to accomplish much. But yes, it is still going to take away some power away from the French. Ooh, oh. This is their opportunity. Yes. The English. Come on, England. Take back your country. This is your chance. This is your chance. Yes, it's just rebels. It's not even the French now. Take back your country. Please, England, do it. So are the French and the English still at war now? They are still at war. Yeah. Yes, wonderful. Well, the French do have a boat in the water, so I'm gonna have to kill that. I should probably start building another boat just in case I lose something. And I did notice, ooh, yeah, making it 3,800. I wonder where that jump came from. Yeah, I don't know. I must have had a building completed. So that's nice. Yes, I will take it. Absolutely. Or maybe another port was built. That's another option. I have to remind myself that as these other factions build more ports and then I can trade with more provinces, that my income will also continue to increase. So that is wonderful news. Now I'm one turn away from my youngest heir becoming of age, so hopefully he's going to be the next in line once that happens. So let's just kind of drop a save here and end this turn. Uh-oh, that's not a good sign from my Prince Umar, newly of age, -1 morale, -10 happiness, because he's a strange man. This man's strange habits of talking to invisible servants are not normal, but they are certainly disturbing to those around him. Yikes, but he is a 4-star general, so that's good. And most importantly, yes, that's what I'm talking about. He is the next in line. That's what I needed to see. Are you by any chance married, sir? No, you are not. You're super loyal, good piety, 4 dread, 4 command, 2 acumen. Overall, not bad. Not bad. The 2 acumen could be a little bit better, but yeah, it's too bad that he's going to be giving that -1 morale and that -10 happiness. That's unfortunate, but you know what? I think I can still work with that. And let's see. I know I wasn't really having much luck with this, but let's see if I can actually find a wife for my next in line. Well, 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 what have we here? The Danes are actually making a move. Wow. This is exciting. The Danes actually brought in a naval invasion of Brittany and Normandy. Well, the French are in the middle of a civil war. That's what I like to see. That's the kind of bold moves that really make me excited. Cool stuff. The Egyptians are still getting pushed back as well. Awesome. That's also what I like to see. And goddamn, this French ship has already sunk 2 of my boats. That's so annoying. King of England has died from an illness. And let's see, looks like we did catch an assassin here in Aragon. But I do have a border fort there, so it wasn't likely caught by one of my agents. Royal Palace is finished here in Navarre, so now I can... I've had a Royal Palace in Cordoba this whole time so that I could have brought all of my old early era Gulam bodyguards up to snuff and retrained them, but I didn't want to do that in a province where I don't have these metalsmiths for that +1 weapon damage. So I wanted to wait until I can do that here in Navarre, so now I can get my upgraded Gulam bodyguards. I don't have to train them or anything, I can just retrain them. Not pay any money. And then, yeah, I get a unit of Gulam bodyguards with some better innate stats. I think it's just like better armor and maybe some, I don't know. I didn't even look at the stats, but yeah, some better stats, and then also +2 armor from my armor, and then +1 weapon or attack from my metalsmith, which is going to be pretty nice. Let's see, some more swordsmith's workshop completed. I just want to work up to where I can finally train Faris, which is going to be really nice. A couple of my allies are now at war. It's going to be the Germans and the Egyptians. Okay, so the Germans must have declared a crusade. That has to be what they did. And I'm going to choose to remain allied with the Egyptians. So, let's see, do you want to... No, I do not. Prince Abdullah, what do you got? +20 happiness, +2 morale. Okay, that's pretty awesome. Anything else worth looking at here? Secret blackmailer. Okay, don't have to worry about that because it's only an issue once he's found out as an actual blackmailer. Then he's going to be losing some loyalty. Okay, let's see. Anything... I want to take a peek at this as the first thing. So, the French just straight up retreated from Brittany. So the Danes own this now, but it's risky because they brought their king. And he might get cut off. That'd be unfortunate. But they also took Normandy as well, with just a two-man or two-unit army. Yeah, and the French just straight up lost Anjou because this is a rebel army. This is the only army in that province. Huh. Interesting. And the English, have they done anything? Nothing yet. Come on, English, do something. Be somebody, please, guys. And over here, it does look like the Poles are continuing to get pushed back. They still have quite a decent amount of guys here in Poland. But Prussia and Pomerania, Brandenburg, and Silesia are all held by pretty small armies. And yeah, they're losing Moldavia as well. And then it's going to be the Hungarians' turn. Ooh, yes, and here is the German Crusade. So currently, it's still pretty small. What's its target? It's going for Palestine. That's a long way to go. That is a long way to go. You're trying to get all the way down here? Ugh, good luck to you. Yeah, it's funny because in some ways it's like good timing because the Egyptians are going to be pretty weak. So they can probably take Constantinople off the Egyptians. And maybe they can even like sack Nicaea. But then how are they going to get through the Mongols, you know? Yeah, I don't think that's going to work. And I am curious to see if the Egyptians will be able to stabilize. I mean, they still have so many armies down here in Egypt. So many guys that could be up here fighting the Mongols. I think the Egyptians were able to hold back for a little while just because they were having these loyalist rebellions that were helping bolster their numbers and help them fight back against the Mongols. But now that now the Mongols have taken Kiev and they're able to bring a lot of those armies from Khazar down here to fight against the Egyptians, things are going pretty well for them. Yeah, things are going pretty well, and this is just a huge blunder by the Egyptians. We are allies, man. I just chose you over the freaking Germans. Like, come on. So, it's like, jeez, I can't do everything for you. Sorry. As we move on to next turn, the French are actually going for another crusade here. Guys, I don't think this is the time for a crusade because back home, you're going through another civil war. This is a second civil war that you've gone through in the last 5 years. The Danes are invading from the north. And then Champagne, which I believe is the province where this crusade is coming from because there's a chapter house here. It's almost completely surrounded. And it's guarded by 31 men. There's 31 men guarding the chapter house here in Champagne. So when that province falls either to the rebels or to the Germans or to the Danes or whoever, when this province falls, this crusade is going to disappear. And then these problems that the French are already dealing with, it's only going to get much, much worse. We have to look at the king. The French king is down to 1 influence. And I'm surprised he has 1 influence. I would almost expect there to be like a 0 right there. Yeah, France, you might want to think about your own issues at home. Because right now, your kingdom is getting gobbled up. I mean, you're actually, through your own actions, you're kind of giving the Germans a little breath of fresh air here. And the English are still doing nothing. Come on. Come on, England. Be somebody. Luckily, I was finally able to kill the French fleet, or the 1 boat down here in the Bay of Biscay. Finally, after killing 2 of my boats, I was able to take it out. So that does feel pretty good. And in the end turn, I did see that the Egyptian Sultan had been captured and killed. So I wanted to see if I could find... Where's the new one? Where is the new one? Here he is. It's 5 influence, 5 command, 4 command. Okay, he's okay. Great warrior, plus 5 health. Okay. He's actually kind of decent. He is 42 years old, though. Yeah, the Egyptians are getting beaten back. They are, but they are being helped out. This is another loyalist rebellion here in Odessa. And it's probably going to be able to beat back... Well, actually, I don't know if it can beat that. This is going to be kind of a tough little battle here, because a couple of units of Mongol heavy cav is very formidable, but then these 3 units are they just have 1 man per unit, so that's not much. And then this is a bunch of spearmen, archers, Paris. The loyalists will probably take back Edessa. Unless some Mongol reinforcements come in from Syria. Yeah, the Egyptians could really, really use these guys. Especially all these camels. Like, the camels, my god, they're just made to fight against the Mongols, right? Especially in the desert, especially in Arabia and Syria. Like, come on. Because these places are... What are they? Yeah, sand desert. That's what they're called. So I believe the camels get a +1 attack in sand desert, I believe. It's good stuff. They'd be fighting... They'd be just devouring those horses that the Mongols are riding on. There we are. We've done it. The year's 1250, and we have just scored 23 points off of homelands, plus another point off of conquest. And it feels pretty good. Let's go in here. Let's look at the points. 123. My god. Wow. So, yeah, it looks like no one else is really close right now. The Germans are they're in second place. And they're down by 40 odd points. Yeah. Or 30 odd. Yeah, that feels pretty good. Holy Roman Empire, what does this mean? So they have to take the coronation of Charlemagne in 800 AD, establish the King of Germany as Emperor and Protector of Rome. To make unification a glorious reality, the Emperor must conquer Milan, Rome, Naples, Tuscany. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, they're in second place. Wow. And the Italians, even though they only have one more province right now, they're still hanging on to 78. Sicilians with 86. So they're going to be shooting up and getting really, really high end points pretty soon here. They just don't have... what are they missing? What are they... I just looked at it. They don't have Malta. Do they not? This is not Malta. This is Malta. And this is a Sicilian army, correct? Yeah. Okay. I'm a little confused by this. Why does it say that they don't have Malta when they do? Did they just grab it in this end turn and then it wasn't counted? I don't know. Yeah, I don't, that's curious. I don't know about that. Interesting. Yeah, Hungarians doing, they're doing well with 82 points. They're just kind of hanging on. And speaking of hanging on, man, the Poles are pushing back. After losing Moldavia and losing Kiev, they've retaken these provinces. They have, lost Volhynia. Or is it, yeah, Volhynia? Yeah. Man, they're hanging on. Good for them. They're fighting the good fight. They are really doing the best that they can here. Lucky for them that they're not facing any pressure from the west, or else that'd just be like if Hungary wanted to take their territories. I'm surprised that Hungary is just so like they're just gonna sit here and do nothing, eh? Like they're not gonna attack Germany, they're not gonna take Greece off of the Turks, they're not gonna take Bulgaria off the Byzantines. The Egyptians are weak here in Constantinople, and no, the Hungarians are like, nah, we good. We're just gonna chill. We're just gonna chill. They're making their 9 points off of homelands, and that's all they care about. They're not at war with anyone, are they? Nope, they're not at war with anyone. They're just gonna sit there. The Egyptians are being pushed back. They've lost pretty much all of Anatolia, and they just have Constantinople here. It's just Constantinople and then the desert. Or the Levant. So, yeah, they did take back Edessa. But I think that the soldiers here from the Mongols that are hanging out here in Armenia, Georgia, Rome, Lesser Armenia, I think they'll be able to retake these regions. And they still have just a huge army here in Egypt, just kind of hanging out. We have just come across an event here with a respected Islamic scholar. Ibn Rushd is among the foremost thinkers of his age. Few others match the quality of his study of Aristotle or his belief in radical rationalism. His commentaries are prized by both Islamic and Christian scholars, as are his astounding skills as a physician, minus 10% zeal in all of Almohads, Spain. Which I suppose is kind of too bad, because At some point, I would have liked to launch some jihads upon... Oh, I don't know. I was talking about, having some raiding parties go across France and then launching jihads upon those provinces because technically I'd owned them at some point. And by having less zeal in my home provinces, that's going to make that a little bit less effective. Unless I get those imams, those second tier religious agents that become available to me once I build my grand mosque. And I'm still working up to that. I could build that here in Cordoba if I wanted to, but since it does give +3 morale to any soldiers that are trained in that province, I would rather the grand mosque be in one of these territories. So I think I'm aiming towards Leon just because that is working on building a citadel right now. So I think that's what I'm going to have to wait for. Then I can train my imams and build my Azil back up over in my provinces to kind of compensate for Ibn Rushd lowering the zeal of my people. So now my ruler has another son. This guy's like 60 years old. He needs to slow down, okay? That is just inappropriate. Idris ibn Idris, adultery, -2 piety. Okay, well, be better, okay? Be better. Ah, yes, and this is what I was talking about. Just as soon as my amazing amount of homeland points was given to me, they can also be taken away. And here we're looking at a homeland where I would be getting 3 points off of Tunisia, Algeria, Morocco, and Grenada, because this basically, the year is 1251, and I think this is around the time when the Almohads were in decline, and at some point, they are pushed back to having only these provinces. And I know as far as the Reconquista is concerned and the Christians pushing back the Muslims here in Spain, it was Granada that was able to hang on for a couple more centuries after the Almohads were gone. So I would imagine that I'd be only getting points off of Granada at some point. Maybe Granada and Morocco would be my only two homelands territories at some point. And then it's going to be time for me to start attacking because other countries or other nations will start to be able to catch up to me, because right now, yes, I will make a decent amount of points off of the homelands. Still, it's still decent. I'll be making 12 points off of that, plus 2 off of conquest. Yeah, so another 14 points is not bad, that's totally fine. But I'd imagine that some other places might start catching up. Or not, now that I'm looking around. Who would catch up over time? The Hungarians? What's new about that? Man, the Italians, Oh no, I was looking at something else. What was I just looking at? Was I looking at me? Oh, was I looking at my province? Okay, that's fine. Gosh, now that I'm looking around, who would catch up to me? I don't know. In any case, I will continue to pull the fort down in my own territories, and if it comes to that, it comes to that. Right now, I'm slowly but surely building up a treasury, and that does feel pretty good. And I don't want that to go away. I want to keep building it up until I'm feeling really good about it, and then I can attack whatever I want. But right now, I should be patient. Ah, cool! I can finally start training up Faris, and this is one of the only extra units the Almohads get later on in the campaign. Pretty much all of the good stuff that they get is right early on, and this is one of the few units that you can get later on. So they're good. They're a good skirmish cav, and by that I mean they can even fight in melee pretty decently. They're also disciplined, which means that they're not going to be taking a morale penalty from units that are not disciplined running away. So they're going to be staying in the fight pretty good. Strong charge, good morale, good attack, armed with bows, good stuff. This is a fun unit to use. They also have shields, so I suppose that's going to help them fight in melee a little bit. They are fairly expensive, 375 to train, and then 70 thorns to support as well. So they're a bit expensive for sure. In Arabic, the word Faris simply means horseman, as do most of the Christian nations' names for knights, such as Chevalier and Ritter. The Faris are professional cavalrymen, well-trained and well-equipped, and are compared by many to the Knights of Christendom. Alright, interesting, because they're not a heavy cav like a knight, they're a skirmish cav, but yeah, they're great. So let's get these going. I could have started training these a little bit earlier here in Morocco, because I actually can technically train them here. But because I do have my metalsmiths and my armorers built up here in my northern provinces, I wanted to wait until I could do that here. So I'll be getting that going. And in the meantime, I have been also retraining my pretty much everything that I can up here in my northern provinces. My Mujahid foot soldiers, my Ghazi infantry, my Almohad urban militia. Ooh, I forgot him. You can be retrained. Pretty much anyone that I can find is being retrained so that they have those upgrades to attack and armor as well. So I'm going to keep focusing on that. I'm retraining my Gulan bodyguards here in Castile. So even though things are a bit slow, I'm still staying vigilant here, and I'm making sure that things stay up to date as well as they can. Even though the world around me seems like it's falling apart, I need to make sure that I don't become a part of that, right? Oh dear, and things just seem to be going from bad to worse for my own Prince Umar. My next in line. Man, you are my oldest. You gotta be my best, okay? He has gone from strange to crack-brained. Because that's how this Vice and Virtue line goes. It just gets worse and worse and worse. So now, this man's habits of dancing in the moonbeams, painting his servants blue, and sucking horseshoes has led some to suspect he may be unbalanced. -2 morale and -20 happiness. So the effects of being strange, they've just been doubled, right? It's getting worse and worse. So he's going to be a bad leader as a general, and then also a bad king in the sense that people will not be happy with him because they're going to be terrified of him. As they should. But he's still 4-star, that's good. The dread, that's the thing, like, these two things right here could compensate for that. 4 dread could compensate for the -20 happiness, and then the 4 command could compensate for the -2 morale. Possibly. I guess we'll just have to see. I mean, it'd be nice if you got like something else. You could be more than just crack-brained. You could also be a great leader. Like, let's not go down just one, let's not pigeonhole you just yet, okay? It's interesting to me that the Byzantines are actually blocking the French crusade from passing through their territories, and I wonder why. I was wondering why they were stuck here. It's too bad that they can't go around. They should just be able to go around, although that wouldn't really help them that much either because the Turks are right here and they can't pass through Islamic territory freely. So the Byzantines actually must have said no to the French. They've let the Germans in. The German crusade is going to stay here in Bulgaria and wither and die, but the French crusade is going to be stuck here in Hungary. And they're going to be going away eventually as well. Yeah, interesting. I wonder if the French attacked a Byzantine boat or if the war was actually started right here, if they actually were trying to enter and the Byzantines just said, no, screw you. Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know. I thought the AI, as long as it was like, Christian, Orthodox or Catholic, I thought they always would say yes. I'm really curious about this. Yeah, that's an interesting thing. The French are screwed, and I don't know how they still have Champagne. No one has taken it. The Danes are being really conservative. They have 3 armies here in Brittany, and you'd think they'd be attacking. I'd say they really should be attacking. They're kind of stuck here in Normandy, though, because if you look here, this is not going to fall unless the Danes actually attack it. And I'm not seeing any siege equipment here, so the Danes have to bring siege equipment to take this. I mean, they could attack it just with their, men and burn down the gates. But that would be a bloody fight. And yeah, I'm not seeing any siege equipment at all. Do they even have any siege? They do have a siege building here, siege engineer. This is just the basic one that allows them to train the ballistas. What about here in Denmark? Nope, nothing. And Norway, no. So all they can do is train ballistas. I mean, a ballista can still get you through the wooden outer wall, but then you need to attack the gate of the inner wall. And this is a castle, actually. Oh yeah, it's a castle. Okay. So there's going to be 2 walls. Yeah. Yep. 2 walls and then an inner keep. Yeah, that's tough. They need to get some better siege equipment. But the gosh darn English, man, they are just not doing anything. They have all these royal knights. They could take back all of England with just the royal knights alone, probably. Man, oh man, so frustrating. Like, just take back Northumbria. You know, you have this army sitting here in Scotland. Maybe they're afraid that the loyalty is gonna fall too low if they remove this army. Oh yeah, because so I do have 2 alums hanging out here in Scotland, and Scotland is 76% Muslim. And in addition to that, Scotland is innately a rebellious province, so they're worried that there's going to be a Muslim rebellion if this army leaves. Oh man. Okay, you go some. See, I want to leave a spy there so I can keep spying, but like, I don't want to disrupt the English from taking back their island. Oh, poor guys. What about Mercia? Yeah, loyalty is only 151% here. They just need to train up some peasants, but I'm sure they're broke by now. That's the thing, because you get these royal knights, but you don't even train on purpose. You just get them because your family has sons, right? And then you end up paying 62 support costs for each royal knight, and then you end up going broke, and so you can't even actually build anything or train anything, not due to anything that you did, you know? So that's probably where they're at right now. They probably feel like they can't move anywhere because of population loyalty, and that's probably why they're stuck, which is really, really too bad. My Khalifa has finally passed away from an illness, and he lived to be quite old, I gotta say. He's around, what, 63 or so? Yeah, luckily my heir is around. So there is a there is a Muslim rebellion due to my alum hanging out here in Switzerland. Yeah, okay, that's going to be giving the Germans a little bit of trouble there. And the Italians are the most technologically they have the most technology. Okay, that's really funny. There's only 1 province. Like, come on. And oh, come on. I lost a boat in the Ionian Sea. That's a bad one. That's a bad one. And then the Turkish Sultan has also died. King of Poland has died. Okay. Admiralty has been completed here in Cordoba, so I should have a title that I can hand out now as well. Secret Avarice. +2 acumen, -10 happiness, and inbred. Most men manage to have 8 great-grandparents, but this man has been badly shortchanged. -3 acumen and -3 command. Yikes. Now let's take a peek at, what was I just going to look at? This, where is this not Switzerland? Yes, it is. Is this that's not a Muslim rebellion? Okay, what? I'm confused. Where's the... I thought there was a Muslim rebellion in Switzerland. Oh, there it's hiding. There it is. Okay, it's pretty weak. 2 units of urban militia, 1 catapult, and then 2 archers. It's probably not going to be able to beat, yeah, a unit of royal knights and a unit of mounted crossbowmen. Nope. No. They're going to be just fine holding down things in Switzerland. I now have a new title to grant to one of my generals. This is because of the Admiralty that was finished here in Cordoba. And this title, Amir al-Bahr, praise be to Allah, the compassionate, the merciful, and let him show the bearer how to be virtuous and wise in his service, the righteous in the service of his ruler, and righteous in the service of his ruler. With the gift of this office, the bearer shall receive the following benefits: +1 loyalty and +2 command. I was looking for someone that'd be worthy of this. I have a 4-star general down here with, 4 loyalty, which is decent. But the extra loyalty will push him over the edge, I'd say, and then pushing a muscle up to 6 command would also be really, really nice. What else is he? -2 piety. Highly educated. Okay, so +1 acumen, +1 command, -1 piety. Builder. Okay, well, let's give this guy that title. this right here. Put him up to 6 stars. That looks good. And then while I was looking for him, I noticed something else. I noticed this guy with 9 acumen, and he's not a governor. And so I was looking around, and I was wondering what province I should find, or which, you know, who needs a governor with 9 acumen. Now, Cordoba is pretty okay. Their governor has 7 acumen, which is, you know, not as good as 9, but it's okay. This is my richest province. He's making, you know, 4,500. So that's pretty good. And then I was looking at Castile. Castile's making 22. No, what I was looking at was Portugal. Portugal's making 2,900. And if I look at their governor here, he has 5 acumen, which is not bad by any means, but 9 is a lot better, isn't it? 9 sure is a lot better. So I'm thinking about stripping him of his title and then giving it to this guy. So where's my emissary? Here you are. Strip this man of his title. Right? Yeah, Portugal. Give Portugal to my 9 acumen general. And then what I was thinking was... Ooh, wait, was this the wrong order? I was thinking, gosh, Castile... Let's see, who's Castile's guy? Castile right here? Yeah, 4 acumen. Okay, nope, you're the one I was going to replace, I think. Actually, no, this should be fine. I'll give the 9 acumen governor Portugal, and then if I want to give Castile over to, you know, for example, this 5-star or 5 acumen governor who's going to be losing Portugal, if I want to give him Castile, that would be a minor improvement as well. So that's still in play. We'll see about that. I will be retraining all of these Gulam bodyguards here in Castile. These are all of my Gulam bodyguards that were hanging out here in Aragon. So hopefully I don't get attacked in the meantime. My king is here, but I have a huge army, and the French are in so much trouble that I do not think they will be attacking me. How is Sicily doing? Are they at war with anyone else, or are they just kind of, yeah, they're just at war with the Italians, and that's it. And they haven't squashed the Italians yet. The Italians still have Genoa. Interesting. Or Genoa. Huh. Yeah, I wonder why they haven't finished off the Italians. They just still exist, but they're just kind of hanging on for dear life. Same with the Turks here in Greece. Like, they're just like, please end it. Please, I'm too weak. But, yeah. Speaking of too weak, the Egyptians, well, if they would only use these forces, they wouldn't be, but they are being pushed back in all places by the Mongols. But the Mongols also appear to be spread a little bit thin. Yeah, they seem like they might be starting to run out of steam. And they haven't even attacked the Novgorods yet, which is interesting. At this point, I don't know if they could beat the Novgorods with like what they have in the local area, because these boyars are pretty solid. Like, these are their bodyguard units, and they're a skirmish calf, but they fight pretty gosh darn well in melee. So this would be a tough army to fight for the Mongols. Finally, the Danes have attacked. Yes, Anjou has fallen to the Danes. Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. So yes, my general, he is pretty upset that he just lost his governorship. That's a really awful thing to happen to him. Man, a lot of famines in Cyrenaica. Not a big deal because it's already super poor, so it doesn't really matter if the income is halved. Let's see, anything really important here? Eloquent. Let's see, +1 piety, +1 acumen. Famously brave. Oh my goodness. +1 valor, +1 morale. Well educated. And let's see, most eloquent. Alright, good stuff. Let's go back over, let's finish the job. So let's get this guy, yes, with his amazing acumen. And then what are we looking at? So it's making 21 right now. It was making 2,900 under that dude. So let's see. Ooh, it's gonna give another acumen as well. Oh my god. Is it gonna go up to 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, is 9 the limit, or can he do 10? These do 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think 9 is the limit. Okay. It's up to, wow, oh my god, it went up to 4 grand. Just like that. Oh my god. Wow. Yeah, that's pretty good stuff right there. Now this guy is upset, but he's, you know, he still has 5 loyalty, and that's okay. Considering that, so he was 5 acumen before, and so he lost 1 because of that title. That title gave 1 acumen. So there's no point in giving him Castile because the governor of Castile already has his 4 acumen, so that's going to be fine there. What's this? It appears the English have tried to take Northumbria finally, and then they decided to retreat. All while that's happening, it does appear like the Sicilians have bribed the rebel army, and it's going to be switching during this end turn. Okay. Man, the Sicilians are making some interesting moves here. And the Polish are retreating from Kiev. Okay, there's a little back and forth going between the Mongols and the Poles. But yeah, it does appear that, yeah, it looks like the Poles are going to stabilize. It's too soon to call it, but yeah, the Poles seem like they are going to stabilize. And it kind of looks like it's the same thing here with the Egyptians as well. Did they finally bring up some of those armies from Egypt to fight the Mongols? I'll have to take a look at that. And yeah, the Mongols are retreating on all fronts. Against the Poles, against the Egyptians. Yep, here in Anatolia as well. Yep, they must have brought those armies from Egypt. That must be what happened. Yep. And the Khan of the Golden Horde has died from an illness. His heir will take over. And then the Holy Roman Empire has been killed in battle, but a new emperor has been elected to lead the Germans. And there's an Inquisition in Rome. How pleasant. Master Horsebreeder is completed here in Navarre. I believe that's the building that just gives +1 Valor to my units, including my Gulam Cavalry, actually. And then Boyar's Guild is completed here in Aragon. I believe that's so that I can train Faris. No, I already can train Faris. I think that's just so that I can train Pavis, Crossbowmen, and Arbalesters, perhaps? I'm not sure. Actually, I can't remember. Utterly Fearless, Ali Ibn Sharaf, +2 Valor and +2 Morale. My goodness. No principles, minus 50% to bribery costs. This one's funny. He is entirely motivated by money, as his grandmother's new owner will attest. So he's sold his own grandmother. That's just awful. That's not funny at all. Things are pretty quiet on my end, I gotta be honest, and I'm pretty happy about it, but you know, things will be changing at some point because I can't just sit here and farm my Glorious Achievements points forever because eventually the tides will turn and I will not be making the same amount as I am right now. But man, oh man, it feels good to have that good of a lead. And at some point, who knows, I might actually go up here. I mean, England is looking weak. It is looking very, very weak. But at this point, yeah, the Sicilians, oh yeah, they did. So the Sicilians have Wessex and Northumbria, but then these are rebels. It's really, the colors are very similar, so it can be hard to tell sometimes. So that's a little bit troubling. To take England, I would have to go to war with the Sicilians, and the Sicilians have a decent presence here on the Mediterranean, not just like, you know, on land, but on the sea itself. They have a few boats in the water, not so much in the eastern Mediterranean, but yeah, around Italy, around Sicily, of course. It looks like they have quite a few boats in the water. I'm seeing some galleys, barks, dromons. Okay, that's a pretty good mix right there. It's a little bit unique. The Italians and the Sicilians can actually train Mediterranean boats like galleys and dromons, but they can also train Catholic boats like the barks and the caravels. Ooh, and they also have a fire galley. Okay, so that's like the upgraded galley, right? It's a galley that has it can shoot Greek fire on the enemy, which is terrifying because it burns when wet. Yeah, the perfect naval weapon. It's a tough boat. It has a good attack. You know, it's a good attack, 1 defense, 2 speed. So this is the 3rd tier Mediterranean boat that's available, and I think that's the earliest 3rd tier boat that you can get, because for the Catholics, for the normal Catholic factions like France or England or Germany, and as well as the Muslim factions, we can't get our third tier until gunpowder becomes available. I'm pretty certain that's the case, because our third tiers involve cannons. So it's not all bad, because like we get our second tiers, the Muslims get their second tier before the Catholics can. We can actually, have our boats in the deep sea regions before the Catholics can, which is an incredible advantage. It's huge. It's a huge, huge advantage. But then the Muslims do tend to kind of fall behind a little bit because, as I just mentioned, the Mediterranean factions like the Sicilians, the Italians, and the Byzantines can get their fire galley before we can get our third tier. I can't remember what it's called, but it's a cannon boat. It has cannons on there. I'm pretty certain of that. But I don't know if our third tier matches up to the Catholics' third tier. I think I want to say that the westernized, not even West, but just like the normal, I don't know, what should I call them? The Central European Catholic factions? Because it's like the Hungarians, the Poles, the Germans, the English, and the French can all train like the normal, set of boats. And I want to say their third tier is better than ours as the Muslims, but I would have to look that up. I'm not certain of that off the top of my head. I just have a feeling that that's the case, but yeah, if we wanted to go to war with the Sicilians, the fact that they have some fire galleys on the water, do they have like more, or is it just the one? Nope, here's another one. Yep, that's another fire galley. Gosh, man, I don't want to go to war with the Sicilians. They have some scary boats on the water. I would have to, if I did this, it would not be anytime soon. If I went to war with the Sicilians, I'd want a lot of money, like a lot of money, because it's going to take a while to kill these fleets. In addition to that, I would also want to have a better navy. I mean, I do have a decent navy presence by having boats in all of the sea regions. That's nice, but I would actually want a better navy. I would want some stronger boats to go after them. So that's not going to be anytime soon. That's going to be further down the line. I might consider taking out England. It's nice to take out England before going after mainland France, just because then you can attack this region from both north and south. That's an idea, or I can stick to my original plan, which was, doing a raiding party just through this territory, and then using multiple jihads just to swarm the entire area with jihads, which sounds kind of fun. I might do that, honestly, just to avoid a naval war, right? Because fighting the Sicilians in that manner seems like a really crappy way to go. But that's all going to have to wait until later on in this campaign. As always, I hope you've enjoyed this one, and thank you very much for watching. I've been Constep, and this has been Medieval Total War. Thank you very much, and goodbye.